Well, we've blasted abruptly into 2019 like the time I was running late for my father's funeral, and you know what that means? It means it's been a whole year since Megalobox and Violet Evergarden. Jesus Christ! Winter is once again upon us, and with Europe freezing over, the friend of mine in Indiana found dead due to wind chill, thinking about you, Cody, God bless, and the melodramatically named Beast from the East's second gig potentially coming up. Let's all crowd around the burning fires of the anime industry to help stave off both the elements and the terrifying knowledge that we're about to be drowned in a new wave of Kingdom Hearts pornography. God help us all.
Okay.
The horny gamblers are back, getting horny about doing gambling. I checked out of the first season when the psychotic lunatic with the fetish for grievous physical harm and or actual death started becoming the human humidifier, so I recall the second half of the first season in the same way I do my 21st birthday. Not because I was drunk, of course, just because it was the same as any other day. Subsequently, going into this had me in a state of constantly going, who are you? Oh! Right, you're the insert fetish here character for almost a full 20 minutes. The show itself? I don't know, it's people getting really horny about gambling. That's kind of the whole shtick. You can hear the collective orgasm every time there's a rate up in grand order from a mile away. Yumiko's heart, the main dude, hopelessly vacillates, and people keep fucking breathing on my camera lens. It leaves smudges, man. It's not cool. I feel like people are always drugging other people in anime. Is that common in Japan? Is that like a casual thing people do to friends and family? This happened in Bunny Girl Senpai too. Is that just, like, isn't this a crime? Isn't this like an illegal crime? I always thought the protagonist of this looked sort of like the lead from Persona 4, which isn't necessarily out of character, I suppose, since apparently everyone except myself played that game as sort of like a Pokemon. Except instead of catching electric mice, birds holding vegetation, and purple rats, you're catching the female members of the cast of the video game Persona 4. He very clearly marries one of them, which basically diffuses all of the initial tension, but the thing's title is like My 5 Bodacious Wives or something, so let's play a guessing game. What have I been doing lately? No, not accidentally streaming pornography on Twitch again. I've been reading the manga. I've been looking at it for a few months now, and the characters are all fairly likable. Well, except Nino, although Nino's sort of like become likable recently. She's all forward and aggressive now, and I'm into that. The critical side of me would say it's inconsistent characterization, but the part that willingly watched Imoto Saide because Naita Kani was and is fucking perfect, couldn't care less. Boogiepop's a weird name for a show, huh? Stay tuned for more award-winning observations from the channel you've come to know and love. I came to this one because of Madhouse's precedent for quality and the visuals present in its phenomenal initial PV, despite the fact that horror and I get along about as well as one might expect from a national of a country whose most iconic, feared movie monster is a garbage can with a plunger hot glued to it. But this is a sexual experience. This is a confusing experience. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here. Perhaps I'm just not intelligent enough to grasp the scope of a horror story called Boogiepop in its first episode, or maybe it's because this kid's hat's dumb. I haven't yet seen enough to tell. I saw the trailer for this one around halfway through the fall season, and I put it on my to-watch list without a second thought, because it seemed to be a unique, original, exciting idea that I hadn't seen before. Then I learned that it was a remake of a show that aired half a century ago, so, you know, teach an old dog new tricks. I'm sorry I keep bringing up the terrifying maw of time. Winter is just a very existential season for me. I'm excited for this one. Really impressed by the first couple of episodes. Hopefully it can keep up the momentum. I love the blending of styles from the 60s and the present. I love the thrust of the plot. I'm completely down to watch more of this. We're going 2 for 2 on old series getting remade in winter season and being some of the best of the crop. The producers of Shield Hero went on record saying that this property was made with a Western audience in mind. They couldn't have gotten it more wrong. I ain't seen a cowboy hat anywhere yet. God, I'm so sorry. I can't help but feel like having every other notable character in the first episode be utterly despicable really lends believability to the cast in the world, but even having known what's going to happen going in, watching it was a very depressing experience. It was like that sense of impending dread you get when the symptoms for a sickness start to manifest. It gets better though, and the animation's really clean so far. It's a Isekai, I can kind of just let that point stand by itself. Hey, it's quiz game round 2. What are these kids shocked by? A. They just saw their dad do a cuss. B. They overheard that Minecraft 2 is in development. C. They just watched a Markiplier get shot in an LA gang war. Or D. The completely obvious victim child just received something nasty. A friend recommended me this with a suggestion that it was like Made in Abyss, and you could effectively get me to watch almost anything if you described it as being a variation of that theme. And I have to say, absolutely phenomenal direction in that first episode, if a bit cliche, at least as far as this girl is clutching a toy, wearing white clothes, has blonde hair, and is far too sweet to live. I wonder if they'll rectify that at some point, thing is concerned. It wants you to dread what might happen next, whilst also being about largely the struggle to keep hope alive despite overwhelming odds, and the balancing act there is completely hypnotic. It's sort of like a Seraph of the End meets Attack on Titan meets a Made in Abyss vibe. Also, it's about parkour, so that's fun. Like a 2005 sort of way. And the surprise, when it came, still managed to shock me, even as telegraphed as it was. I'm absolutely going to be watching this one, despite my previously mentioned intolerance for horror. This one seems really good.
Straight guys can't turn a lesbian.
Nope. Then we will slay them.
Oh, yeah! 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 Alright, so I wasn't going to include this one because it didn't seem particularly interesting, but then I saw that its genre was demon, and we just don't see that genre enough. Manaria Friends hilariously goes by multiple names, presumably so that people would stop calling it Marinara Friends. They instead elected to call it Manaria Friends, Mysteria Friends, they're not gay, they're friends. Wait, your mother fucked a dragon? Is your family remarkably resistant to internal hemorrhaging? Ever since Tatsuki was unceremoniously booted from this project by Kadakawa with all the grace and magnanimity of someone who just recognized that they've just reached past the tipping point of the chair they're leaning backwards in, to say Kemono Friends 2 had an uphill battle to climb towards general acceptance would be an understatement. It's not made a lot easier to forgive, considering the first few episodes of the second season feel rather like a stranger walking up to you with the skin of a friend loosely draped over their face, and also they're moving at like 12 frames a second. It's hard to walk into this one without that baggage of the debacle clouding my opinion, and try as I might to not be biased, them kicking this one off with Serval actually forgetting who Kaban is, and then introducing me to some new lady does. Like, what were they thinking? What did they think erasing Kaban would achieve? This is like a stepfather moving in and trying to endear you to him by murdering your sister. Or maybe, like, I don't know, something marginally less depressing. Hey, speaking of Kemono Friends 2 and getting really dark all of a sudden, here's Kemono Friends Alter, Tatsuki's new project. He's building his own clubhouse and it'll have girls with cute animal ears and a life after people vibe, and nobody else is invited. How do I feel about Kemurikusa? I don't know. What do you think, weird, not at all annoying audience insert male character? Man, I hope he's not supposed to be the audience insert, actually. They do say you don't really get to grips with a character until you hear them express surprise in approximately 10,000 different gasps over a 5-minute time period. I mean, am I really that exasperating? Why isn't anyone saying anything? It's like Kemono Friends, but darker, grittier. It's like the Shadow the Hedgehog of poorly animated media for children, so, it's like Shadow the Hedgehog. Well, alright, this one isn't as much for children considering there's a death in the first episode, but still, it's like Shadow the Hedgehog. It's literally just Shadow the Hedgehog. This is a Sega property. Look, there goes rings. Oh no! Post-apocalyptic, check. Strange alien creatures, check. Oddly cheery atmosphere despite the bleak surroundings, check. Grey wolf, check. This is not my beautiful wife. This is not my beautiful bus. Also, there's Mob Psycho Season 2, it's really good. Alright, that's winter season. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a car park to go to film a reenactment of the entire Kingdom Hearts series. I'll see you next time.
Cry my side, cry my heart, it's such a common place. Shut